Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm just going to do a little, kind of a little channel update today, and I kind of want to tell you about some experiences I had with a couple of different drones and the issues and how they were or were not resolved. I got some things coming up. You know, there's been a lot of controversy lately with regard to the Aviator control device for DJI drones, the single joystick device. I have one coming. I bought one. I actually put in a pre-order many months ago, and it should arrive this coming week. So I'm going to I am going to do some testing with that. Now I have a Phantom 4, not a Phantom 4 Pro, just an original Phantom 4. And I guess I should step back a little bit and say that I am aware of some of the issues that people have had with the Aviator. And so I'm I am as concerned about it as anybody else, but I think there's so much promise with that device that I think it's worth messing around with it. And I also think that Scott Parazinski, the guy that owns and invented and runs that company, I think he's a stand-up guy, and I think he'll work as hard as he needs to get that device working like it should. And for all I know, not that it doesn't already, so I'm not prejudging anything. I haven't got one yet, and I haven't tried it yet, but I know a lot of people have been very successful with it, but there's been two pretty notable situations. I hesitate to call them failures, but problems with the device. So yeah, so that's a concern. But I'm going to use my Phantom 4, and I wanted to say that I was able to purchase that Phantom 4, I don't know, last winter, I guess, on eBay for $500. To me, that is a drone, and that was with 2 batteries too. That is just an amazing piece of technology. Yeah, is it more clumsy to carry around? Of course it is, but it's a very powerful, very capable product. And you know, a lot of people are buying, you know, some lesser priced drones that have features that they're looking for. Hey, that Phantom 4 has them all. It has obstacle avoidance and all the intelligent flight modes and all that stuff. So I understand why a lot of people are looking for a folding, more compact drone, and it's not that. But if you're just looking for a good flying drone that you can do a lot of cool stuff with and take some amazing video, wow, $500 for a Phantom 4 is just, to me, is just stunning. But my point is, I'm going to use the Aviator. I'm going to start out with the Aviator on the Phantom 4 as opposed to my Mavic 2 Zoom. I figure the Phantom seems to be the one that of the issues out there. It's been the Phantom 4 that there have been a few issues with. So that's probably the one to start with. And it's, quite frankly, you know, I don't have as much money in the Phantom 4 as I do in the Mavic 2. So yeah, anyway. And I also want to acknowledge that I understand and I agree with a lot of people stating that when you use an external device with your Mavic, in other words, or any of your DJI products, you know, if you use the Litchi app, for instance, or I know a lot of people like the Master Air Screw props and so forth. My philosophy has always been the engineers at DJI know that product better than any of us, so I'm going to use DJI props because I'm sure there's a lot of engineering that went into those, and I'm going to use that Go 4 app because there's a lot of engineering and testing that went into that. Not saying that Master Air Screw isn't any good, not saying that the Litchi app isn't a valuable piece of technology. So normally I would not even consider using an external control device But I think the FT Aviator has enough promise and would bring enough value to me personally. You guys have seen my videos. I'm not the best stick man out there. I acknowledge that. I have a problem with cross coupling, doing two things at once, and I think that FT Aviator could help me be a better flyer. So that's why I'm doing it. I am not for 1 minute saying that anybody else out there should, do what I'm doing or anything. I'm just explaining what my thought process behind my choice. Anyway, I'm really excited about that FT Aviator coming, and I'm looking forward to working with it. And I really hope that it improves my abilities as a drone pilot. So the next thing I want to talk about is I've had some issues with a couple of different drones. One of which is the Fimi A3. The big problem is the foggy lens issue. So you take it up, when you get it up at altitude, the lens fogs up, and obviously you lose the quality of the video. First I'll talk about secondly, and then the Mavic Anafi. I did some recent videos on that. Where I had some issues with it doing uncontrolled movement, particularly in windy conditions. One of those was really high wind, so I got that. Others were not even really in that particularly high of wind. And then I had some other problems with it not always turning off. In other words, you press the button on the battery to shut it off, just wouldn't shut off. And I would end up having to remove the battery to shut off the drone. So I really, thought long and hard about that, about what I needed to do about that. And what I ended up doing is I got to the end of, I think it's a 90-day return on Amazon. And I should add that I bought it as a refurb. And I got to that last day. And after talking to a lot of you people, a lot of my viewers that fly the Anafis, that were telling me that they weren't having those kind of problems, I concluded that I probably had one that had some issues. So I went online and went through the return process with Amazon. And people talk about why Amazon dominates the market. The reason they do is because they made it so easy. So as soon as I hit that return button, it takes me to a page where a prepaid return address label is through UPS. So you just print off the label. And by the way, they even had the labels, the battery labels and stuff to put on the side of the box. It all prints off. They've got one part of it that you put inside the box so that in case something happens, they know where it came from, what the RMA number is. And you put it in the box, you take it down to the UPS store, and you're done. As soon as Amazon saw that had been delivered to the UPS store, they shipped me a new Parrot Anafi. And let's see, that was on the 30th of July. I had my new Anafi in my hands by the 1st of August. So in 2 days, I had my replacement Anafi. That's just service that you can't even, that's quality service is what that is. And I should also say that original one that I got, when you get a refurb, you're not getting a new product. And the one that I got was clearly was not new. It had a few little scuffs and things on it. Nothing terrible, but you could tell, that it had been used before. And also, like the owner's manual had handwriting in it and some other things. This other one that they sent me, I can't imagine this thing has ever been in the air. It just looks brand new. So anyway, that for what it's worth. But then you contrast that with this guy right here. I got pretty discouraged when I started getting those the foggy video with the Fimi A3. And let me add that I really had high hopes for the Fimi A3 because It is such a value-priced drone, and I love the fact that there's drones available now, good quality GPS camera drones that people don't have to spend a small fortune on. So I really had high hopes for that guy, and it had a lot of really good features. But so as soon as I bought it from Banggood, I should say that. So, you know, what do? You got a foggy lens, you're getting moisture inside the camera. What are you supposed to do about that? So I got a hold of Banggood and said, hey, you know, what are we going to do? And my expectation was they'd say, hey, send it back, we'll send you another one, or we'll give you a refund, or whatever it was. Well, in typical Banggood fashion, they ask you to send pictures, and then they ask you to send a video. And by the way, I did send them a video sample, and I uploaded it to YouTube as an unlisted video. And on YouTube, you can tell how many views. There's never been a view of that video. Banggood they never even looked at it. So it was just, the whole point of it was just to make you jump through hoops. So this goes on. Email, the next email I got, they asked for more pictures, and they asked for more documentation. They wanted a picture of the box that it arrived in, all this. So I jumped through all of those hoops, and I'm sending them this stuff. And so finally, after an exchange of probably 3 or 4 emails, and this is over about a week and a half period, they send me a copy of a PDF file on how to take this the lens cover off of this camera, heat it up with a hairdryer, pry the cover off, and then they want you to seal around the lens of the camera with some epoxy and then glue that lens cover back on. No, thank you. I bought what I expected to be a functional drone from you. For one thing, I don't think personally, I'm sure a lot of people are capable of that kind of repair. I know I'm not. So I just said, no, I can't do that. They said, what do you want? I said, well, I want to send it back to you and I want my money back. And after exchange of probably another 3 or 4 emails, they finally said, yeah, if you send it back to us, we'll give you your money back. And I said, okay, well, send me an address label. And they said, no, we don't send address labels. You have to do that yourself. Well, obviously it goes back to China. And the cost of sending it back to China, the cheapest I could find, was over $100. Well, you know, of course, I paid $229 for it. I'm not going to spend $100 on a defective drone that they sent me to get $220 back or whatever. So I guess the moral of this story is, you know, when we're buying this kind of stuff from companies like Banggood, and I'm smart enough that I will never say never again, because, you know, if I find something that I think is compelling and a great deal from Banggood, I might buy it again. So I'm not saying that I will never do business with them again. But if I have a choice, I won't. And if I have a choice, the experience with this guy was so different. I'll buy from Amazon because they did such a better job. And I guess I should probably say I do have an Amazon affiliate account, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. It's just the service that I got between these 2 drones. So ultimately, what's going to happen with this guy, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to spend $100 to send it back to him. I've spoken to my credit card company about it because I paid with a credit card. So we'll see what happens. And to be fair, I have not contacted Fimi yet about this. I will do that because I have spoken with some people that they said they got a good result contacting Fimi rather than Banggood. I felt like I should go through Banggood because they're the people that sold it to me. And the other thing that bothered me about it is there's still I guess that's the other thing I forgot to add. That's a known problem with this drone. A lot of people are having that foggy lens issue. Banggood is still shipping those drones out. They're still selling them. So there's people today that think they're ordering a great drone that are going to get a Fimi A3 with a foggy lens. So I just have a problem with that, and I don't you know, I'm not sure exactly how to deal with it. Like I said, in my case, I'm going to go through the credit card company and see what can be done. But anyway, enough of that. I'm really excited to get this guy back up in the air again and test it out. The Anafi, I'm telling you, I really have enjoyed this little drone. It takes really unbelievable video. So, and it also, the app is the Parrot Flight app, Flight 6, I think they call it, is a phenomenal app. If you haven't used it, there's not a bunch of menus that you have to dig through. You can find just about everything you want. And plus it was very intuitive. And I know some people like the controller, some people don't. I do. It's got a little paddle to move the gimbal up and down. It works better for me. I get better control with it. So, but you know, that's just me rather than the scroll wheel. But let's see what else. Oh, I'm trying to get a CrystalSky monitor too. One of the issues that I've been having in this summer, I typically use my iPhone XS for control, but what happens with this guy, when you're out in the heat of the day and it heats up, it dims the display. So you guys watch my videos, you know I always do a screen recording and I'm using it to fly the drone and everything all at the same time. And when you're out in the hot weather, it heats up and it'll dim down one level and you can still kind of see what you're doing, and that's okay. But then if it gets really hot, it'll dim down another level and you just can't see anything. So it's very difficult. And I know, you know, people use sunshades and all that, but I don't think that would help in this situation where the phone actually dims the display. I should honestly try using I've got an iPad Mini 4, and I don't recall having those kind of problems with it, so I need to use that more. But I think ultimately the ultimate answer is a CrystalSky monitor. Everybody that I talk to with those says they work well. So I think I've got a deal worked out to get one, a used one, and if that shows up, we'll get that on the channel as well. And yeah, we'll continue, you know, as updates come up. I just did an update video with the Fimi X8 SE. Man, I'm just gratified that they continue to improve that drone. You know, there's been a lot of really well publicized issues with it as well. You know, Kolsky Drones had a flyaway. Duranafi, his lost control and flew into a mud bank. Gorilla Man has had, ultimately Fimi sent him another one, and they've sent him another controller, and he, I believe he's still having issues with his. I've seen some great improvement in the one that I fly. My biggest problem with it was a tilted horizon issue. It's not completely resolved, but it's way better than it used to be, so that's good. But the cool thing about that drone, it reminds me of the Mavic in that it is fast and powerful. If you want to get out someplace to video something, man, that thing will get out there at 40 miles an hour, and then and the video quality on it is really good as well. So yeah, that's been a fun drone to watch it improve. As you know, I recently took a trip through Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. I still have a ton of video from that, so you expect some new videos coming out from those trips. I took the Hudson Xeno. I've already published, I think, all my Xeno video that I took, but I also took the Anafi, and I've published some of that. And some of that was to demonstrate how it was getting blown around in the wind. But then I also took the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I don't think I've published any of that yet. And I've got some really amazing video with the Mavic. And if you ever get a chance to get out there through northwestern Arizona and southern Utah, it's just amazing that you take lots of batteries, because every time you come around a corner you're going to want to put your drone up in the air again. So anyway, more of that will be coming out. But I guess that's about it. Yeah. So, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And most of all, I really appreciate you watching these videos. And hey, we'll see you on the next one.